As they came, so shall they go. Peace at home, peace in the world. A nation's greatest enemy is ignorance. Science is the most reliable guide in life. Sovereignty belongs unconditionally to the people. These are not the words of a poet, not the words of a philosopher sitting safely in his study. These are the words of a man who was sentenced to death by his own government. And won anyway. A man who built a nation from the ashes of a collapsed empire in less than 15 years with his bare hands and his unbreakable mind. His statue stands in more than 50 countries. Time magazine named him one of the greatest leaders of the 20th century. Winston Churchill said, if he had been English, he would have changed the whole history of Britain. And yet, most of the world does not know his name. Tonight, that changes. His name was Mustafa Kemal Atatürk. Come in, sit down. I want to tell you about the most remarkable human being of the 20th century. Not just a soldier, not just a statesman, a man who looked at total destruction, an empire in ruins, a nation under occupation, an army with no weapons, and said, simply, what can we build? This is his story. And by the end of tonight, you will understand why the whole world should know it. I have spent a great deal of my long life reading history. I have read about pharaohs and emperors, generals and revolutionaries, reformers and dreamers. I have read about people who changed their countries, people who changed their regions, people who changed the course of a war or the direction of an economy. And then there are the very few, perhaps one per century if history is generous, who change what we believe is possible, who prove by the sheer force of their intelligence and will and vision that a human being can hold a civilization in their hands and reshape it. Mustafa Kemal Atatürk was that kind of person. The great historian İlber Ortaylı, who devoted his entire scholarly life to understanding the Ottoman world and the Turkish Republic that emerged from it, wrote something that has stayed with me for years. He said, genius cannot be defined. It can only be observed in how it moves, in what it transforms, in what it leaves behind. What Mustafa Kemal left behind was a nation that did not exist when he was born. A modern secular republic with a new legal system, a new alphabet, a new relationship between government and religion and between men and women, built almost entirely within his own lifetime. He was born in 1881 into a crumbling empire. He died in 1938, leaving behind a country that would outlast him by a century and counting. In those 57 years, he fought on 6 different military fronts, defeated armies that the world assumed were unbeatable, survived multiple assassination attempts, redesigned an entire civilization, and never, not once, used his extraordinary power to enrich himself or establish a dynasty. There is no one else quite like him in modern history. Let me tell you how he began. Let your body sink a little deeper into wherever you are resting. The year is 1881. The city is Salonica, today called Thessaloniki, in northern Greece. But in 1881, Salonica is one of the great cosmopolitan cities of the Ottoman Empire. Perhaps the most open, most outward-looking city in the entire Balkans. Greek merchants and Jewish traders have their counting houses here. Bulgarian farmers bring their goods to the Saturday market. Turkish officials administer the city's affairs in offices overlooking the harbor. Dervishes and Catholic priests and Orthodox rabbis all walk the same stone streets. İlber Ortaylı writes that Salonica was, in some ways, more colorful and more open to the world than Istanbul itself. The people who grew up here, whether they became civil servants or soldiers or merchants, were equipped for the wider world in ways that those from more provincial cities were not. Into this world, in a modest middle-class home, a boy is born to a customs official. Named Ali Riza and his wife Zubayde Hanim, a strong-willed, deeply devoted woman who will shape her son's character more than anyone else in his early life. His mother names him Mustafa, just Mustafa. One name, as was custom. He is a fair-haired, blue-eyed child, unusual enough that people notice. He is also, from his earliest years, obviously sometimes uncomfortably brilliant. He absorbs information with a speed that startles his teachers. He asks questions that older students haven't thought to ask. He argues, which in a traditional Ottoman schoolroom is not always welcomed. His father dies when Mustafa is still a young boy, 7 or 8 years old. His mother, with remarkable determination, ensures that his education continues. He is sent to military preparatory school in Salonica, then to a senior military school in Monastir, then to the War Academy in Istanbul. The name Kemal, meaning perfection or maturity or the highest point of achievement, is given to him by a mathematics teacher in Salonica who sees in this boy something that ordinary names cannot accommodate. The teacher himself is named Mustafa, and he wants to distinguish his brilliant student. He calls him Mustafa Kemal. The name fits so well that it simply stays. But the Ottoman Empire that surrounds this brilliant boy is not well. It is vast, stretching from the Adriatic Sea to the borders of what is now Iraq and Syria, and ancient, and in many ways magnificent. But it is also exhausted. The 19th century has not been kind to it. One by one, the nations of the Balkans have been pulling away: Romania, Serbia, Montenegro, Bulgaria, each claiming independence, each backed by one or another of the European great powers who see opportunity in Ottoman weakness. Young Mustafa Kemal grows up inside a civilization that is learning painfully and involuntarily to let go of itself. He graduates from the War Academy in 1905, a distinguished officer. He is assigned to Damascus, and then to Salonica, and then begins to move through the final turbulent decades of Ottoman history, always watching, always thinking, always arriving at conclusions about what should be done that are usually several years ahead of everyone around him. He serves in the Libyan campaign against Italy in 1911, one of the first times. Italian military forces used in North Africa, a preview of the catastrophes to come in. That century, he fights in the Balkan Wars of 1912 and 1913, watching as the empire loses nearly all its European territory in a matter of months. And then, in 1914, the decision that will change everything, the Ottoman Empire, enters the First World War on the side of Germany and Austria-Hungary. Mustafa Kemal opposes this decision. He argues against it directly and forcefully to people who do not want to hear it. He is, as history will make absolutely clear, completely right. He is sent to Gallipoli. Let your breathing slow. This is one of the most important moments in the history of the 20th century. 1915, the Dardanelles Strait, a narrow passage of water connecting the Aegean Sea to the Sea of Marmara, and from there to Istanbul and the Black Sea. The British and French, ground down by the catastrophic stalemate of the Western Front, devise a plan, audacious, strategically logical, ultimately disastrous. Push a naval and land force through the Dardanelles, knock the Ottoman Empire out of the war, open a supply route to Russia, possibly end the whole war in one stroke. Winston Churchill, then First Lord of the Admiralty, is among the plan's most enthusiastic advocates. The resources committed are extraordinary, hundreds of thousands of soldiers from Britain, Australia, New Zealand, France, India, Newfoundland, the greatest empire the world has ever seen, bringing its full weight to bear. What they cannot account for is one Turkish lieutenant colonel stationed at Gallipoli, with a single division of infantry who understands exactly what is happening and acts with a speed and clarity that will echo for a century. The Allied naval attack in March 1915 fails, mines and guns holding the strait. The land invasion is planned for April. On the morning of April 25, 1915, before dawn, Australian and New Zealand soldiers begin landing on the Aegean coast of the Gallipoli Peninsula at a cove that will be known ever after as Anzac Cove. Mustafa Kemal is not at that beach. He is several miles away with his division. But he hears the gunfire, and he does not wait for orders. He understands immediately and completely what the Allied forces are trying to do. The high ground above the landing beach, a ridge called Chunuk Bear, controls the entire peninsula. If the Allies take it, Gallipoli falls. If Gallipoli falls, the strait opens. The game is over. He sends his regiment forward. His officers tell him their men are out of ammunition. He gives an order that has become in Turkey perhaps the most quoted military command in the country's history. I am not ordering you to attack, I am ordering you to die. In the time that passes until we die, other troops and commanders can come forward and take our places. It is a devastating thing to say. It is also the thing that saves the campaign. His men lie down without ammunition and fix their bayonets. The advancing Allied forces, faced with this, stop to take cover. The pause lasts just long enough for reinforcements to arrive. The high ground holds. The Gallipoli campaign grinds on for 8 more months, one of the most brutal, costly, grinding military operations of the entire First World War. Both sides suffer. Appalling casualties. The heat, the disease, the impossible terrain, the relentless. Sniping, neither side can break through. In January 1916, the Allies withdraw. The campaign, which was supposed to end the war, has failed completely. For Australia and New Zealand, April 25th, Anzac Day, becomes the most solemn day of the national calendar. The young men who died at Gallipoli are remembered every year in services held at dawn, exactly when those soldiers first came ashore. And Mustafa Kemal, the man who defeated them, said this about those foreign soldiers buried in Turkish soil. Those heroes that shed their blood and lost their lives, you are now lying in the soil of a friendly country. Therefore, rest in peace. There is no difference between the Johnnies and the Mehmets to us where they lie side by side here in this country of ours. You, the mothers who sent your sons. From faraway countries, wipe away your tears. Your sons are now lying in our bosom and are in peace. After having lost their lives on this land, they have become our sons as well. A man who can speak these words about soldiers who tried to defeat him is a man who has already transcended the ordinary categories of victory and defeat. Let your body grow heavier. You are safe. The night is quiet. The war ends in November 1918. For the Ottoman Empire, the ending is catastrophic. British troops occupy Istanbul. French soldiers patrol the old city. Greek forces, backed by Britain, land at Izmir in May 1919 with the clear intention of claiming Western Anatolia. The Sultan, frightened and exhausted and surrounded by allied pressure on all sides, signs whatever documents are placed before him. The Treaty of Sèvres, agreed in 1920, effectively dismantles what remains of the empire. Greece takes large territories, Armenia gains independence, a Kurdish zone is established, the straits are internationalized. What remains for the Turks is a rump of central Anatolia, surrounded on all sides by foreign influence or outright control. Most educated observers of the time look at this situation and see something irreversible. The empire is over. The Turks have been defeated, a new order is being established, and Turkey will have to accept its place within it. Mustafa Kemal does not accept this. After Gallipoli, he has fought on other fronts, in the Caucasus, in Syria, in Palestine, each time seeing at close range the catastrophic consequences of decisions he had warned against. He has watched the empire bleed itself white in a war it should never have entered. He has watched incompetent generals and self-interested politicians sacrifice hundreds of thousands of men for nothing. He returns to Istanbul after the armistice. He moves into an apartment in the Sicily neighborhood with his mother Zubeyde Hanim and his sister Makbule. For months, he holds quiet meetings with journalists, with military officers, with members of the old establishment, with anyone who will talk seriously about what comes next. He arrives, methodically and without illusion, at a single conclusion. The resistance must come from Anatolia, not from Istanbul. Istanbul is occupied, watched, controlled, but Anatolia, the vast heartland, the farms and mountains and river, valleys that form the geographic core of what remains of Turkish territory, Anatolia, is still free. On the evening of May 15, 1919, he tells his mother and sister that he is leaving the Butte next morning. He tells them the night before, not weeks before, not in a formal farewell. Just, I am going tomorrow. His mother asks when he will return. He does not answer directly. He walks out the door at dawn on May 16, 1919. He sails to Samsun on the Black Seacoast, carrying a military inspector's mandate that gives him just enough official cover to travel and organize. He steps ashore on May 19, 1919. He never sees his mother again. She dies while he is fighting. He learns the news at the front. He continues fighting. What follows over the next 3 years is one of the most extraordinary military and political achievements in modern history. He builds an army from almost nothing, from men who have been fighting continuously since 1911, who are exhausted and hungry and have no reliable supply of weapons or ammunition. He organizes a government in Ankara, the Turkish Grand National Assembly, which meets for the first time in April 1920, in a city that is at this point a small, dusty Anatolian town with no particular distinction except that it is far from the coast and therefore harder to threaten. He fights simultaneously on multiple fronts, from the west, from the south, from the east, and against the Istanbul government itself, which considers him a rebel and condemns him to death in absentia. He wins. In battle after battle, he reverses the tide. The Greek advance into Anatolia, which at one point reaches to within 50 miles of Ankara, is stopped at the Battle of the Sakarya River in 1921, a 3-week engagement in which Mustafa Kemal, now Supreme Commander, directs operations from the front, breaking his ribs in a fall from his horse and continuing to command from a stretcher. Then the tide turns. The Greeks are pushed back. In August 1922, the Great Offensive. Büyük Taarruz smashes the Greek army in western Anatolia. By September, Turkish forces have retaken Izmir. The Allies, who had backed the Greek campaign, look at the military situation and make a pragmatic decision. This man has won. The new Turkey is real. Negotiate. The Treaty of Lausanne, signed in July 1923, replaces the humiliating Treaty of Sèvres. Turkey keeps Anatolia and eastern Thrace. The borders are established, roughly the borders of the modern Turkish state today. On October 29, 1923, at a meeting of the Grand National Assembly in Ankara, the Republic of Turkey is proclaimed. Mustafa Kemal becomes its first president. Let your eyes close if they want to. The story continues gently towards sleep. Here is where most stories of great commanders end. The war is won. The nation is born. The hero rests. Mustafa Kemal does not rest, because he understands something that military men rarely understand. Winning a war removes an obstacle. It does not build a civilization. And what Turkey needed, what he had been thinking about since his student days in Salonica, since his years, fighting in Libya and the Balkans, since the long nights in Ankara, planning not just the next battle, but the next decade, was a civilization, not a restored empire, not a nostalgic recreation of something that had already proven it could not survive, something genuinely new. The pace of what follows is almost impossible to absorb. The Caliphate, the institution that had linked political power to Islamic religious authority for over a millennium, is abolished in March 1924. Not reformed, not limited, abolished. It is a decision of staggering historical significance, and he makes it without hesitation. The entire legal system is replaced. The Ottoman dual system, religious courts, running alongside civil courts, two parallel legal codes applying to different categories of citizens, is swept away and replaced with a unified civil code adapted from Swiss law, one law for everyone. He closes the religious schools, the madrasas, and creates a unified national education system. Every child in Turkey, regardless of background, will attend the same kind of school and learn from the same curriculum. He abolishes the titles. No more pashas, no more beys, no more inherited honorifics that mark some people as permanently superior to others. Every Turkish citizen is equal before the law and will be addressed accordingly. He changes the calendar from the Islamic lunar calendar to the Gregorian calendar, used by the rest of the world. A practical decision, and also a symbolic one. Turkey is joining the stream of world civilization, not standing apart from it. He changes the script. This is perhaps the most visceral of all his reforms, the one that touches daily life most immediately. The Ottoman alphabet, based on Arabic. Calligraphy is extraordinarily difficult to learn and almost impossible to use for. Printing Turkish efficiently. Literacy rates are low. He adopts a Latin-based alphabet that can be learned in weeks. He personally travels around Turkey with a blackboard, standing in town squares and schoolrooms, teaching farmers and shopkeepers and old women the new letters with his own hands. The new alphabet is adopted in 1928. Within a year, literacy rates begin to climb in, ways they never had under the old system. Women received the right to vote in 1930 for local elections and in 1934 for national elections. This is 1934, before France, before Italy, before Belgium, before several other countries that considered themselves the most advanced democracies in the world. Universities are rebuilt and expanded. New institutions are created. When Nazi Germany begins expelling its Jewish scientists and professors in the 1930s, Turkey offers them positions. Dozens of European scholars, physicists, mathematicians, jurists, architects, historians come to Turkish universities, building institutions that will endure for generations. He builds the Ataturk forest farm on the outskirts of Ankara, a vast agricultural and forestry project that he personally oversees, experimenting with crops and techniques, demonstrating that the barren Anatolian steppe can be made productive. He renames the capital. Istanbul remains Istanbul, a great city, a cultural treasure, a connection to everything the empire was. But the seat of the new government is Ankara. The new republic will not govern from the imperial past. It will build its own future from its own center. And through all of this transformation, this extraordinary, relentless sometimes, brutal pace of change, he holds to one principle above all others: peace at home, peace in the world. Yurta Sul, Cihanda Sul. He had proven at Gallipoli in the War of Independence that he could fight. No one doubted this. His military record was one of the most remarkable in modern history. He could have used that military prestige to pursue expansion, to reclaim territories lost in previous wars, to build an empire of his own. He chose not to. He signed friendship treaties with Greece, the country whose army he had just defeated, with the Soviet Union, with Britain, with France. He pursued diplomatic relationships, trade agreements, cultural exchanges. While Europe around him was sliding toward fascism, while Mussolini was consolidating power in Italy, while Hitler was rising in Germany, while the continent was learning once again to speak the language of conquest and racial superiority, Ataturk was building something different, a modern, secular, peaceful republic. The fire is very low now, just the softest warmth. I want to tell you about the person, not the historical figure, the man. He slept very little, 3 or 4 hours a night, and sometimes less during campaigns or crises. He worked constantly, not in the performative way of politicians who want to be seen working, but in the way of someone who genuinely cannot stop thinking about the problems in front of him. He read voraciously military history, philosophy, economics, science, literature. He could discuss Rousseau and Voltaire and Spencer with the same ease he discussed tactics and strategy. He believed deeply and without sentimentality that the only path forward for any civilization was through reason and knowledge, and the patient, honest examination of evidence. He had no patience for superstition. He had no patience for unearned authority. He had no patience for the argument that something should continue to be done simply because it had always been done that way. But here is what I think is the most important thing about him, more important even than the military victories or the legal reforms or the alphabet. He gave up power voluntarily. This is almost unheard of in history. Men who fight as hard as he fought, who sacrifice as much as he sacrificed, who hold the loyalty of an army and the adoration of a nation. These men do not typically design constitutions that limit their own authority. They do not build institutions specifically intended to outlast them. They do not step back from the possibility of total control. He did. He was president of Turkey until his death. But Turkey had a parliament, had courts, had a legal system, had a civil service that functioned independently. He wanted these institutions to be real, not decorative. He wanted Turkey to become, in time, a genuine democracy, one that could function without him. One day, he told his associates, you will be governed by yourselves. He did not live to see Turkey become the fully democratic state he envisioned. That process took longer than his lifetime, and it is still, honestly, unfinished. But he created the framework. He established the principle. He set the direction. İlber Ortaylı, after a lifetime of study, summarized it this way: to understand Ataturk is to understand what this community, the Turkish people, absorbed from the 19th and 20th centuries. He was not just a leader, he was the expression of an entire civilization's attempt to understand itself and find its place in the modern world. His health began to fail in the mid-1930s, cirrhosis of the liver, the consequence of years of overwork, and he would not have denied it. The long evenings of Reiki and conversation that he loved. He reduced his public appearances, but not his output. He was still reading, still corresponding, still worrying about Turkey's preparedness for the war he could see, gathering in Europe. He was right about that too. The Second World War came just months after his death, and Turkey, following the policy he had established, stayed out of it. On November 10th, 1938, at 9 in the morning, at the Dolmabahce Palace in Istanbul, Mustafa Kemal Atatürk died. He was 57 years old. The Republic of Turkey was 15 years old. He left no great personal fortune. He had given his family's properties to the Turkish state. He left no dynasty. He had adopted several children, most famously Turkey's first female combat pilot, Sabiha Gökçen, but he designated no political heir, built no family legacy of power. He left the institutions, the laws, the universities, the alphabet, the constitution, the republic. When the news reached Ankara, the Grand National Assembly went into emergency session. Across Turkey, in schools and barracks and offices and homes, people stopped what they were doing. Every year, on November 10th at 9 in the morning, Turkey stops. Traffic halts on every road and bridge. Ships in the Bosphorus sound their horns. Factory sirens wail. Millions of people stand in silence for 1 minute. They have been doing this for 85 years, and in 50 countries, in parks and plazas and government buildings across 6 continents. A man stands in bronze, looking forward, as he always did, toward what might still be possible. I have been telling stories for a long time, and the question that this particular story leaves me with, the question I always return to when I think about him, is this: what does it take for a human being to look at total destruction and see possibility? He was born into a dying empire. He spent his youth watching the world he knew dissolve piece by piece, decade by decade. He fought wars that cost him friends, cost him health, cost him years he could not get back. He watched the city where he was born become part of another country. He was sentenced to death by his own government, and he did not despair. He did not rage against what was being lost. He did not waste himself mourning the empire or fighting to restore what could not be restored. He asked a different question, the only question worth asking when the old world has ended. What can we build? Not what can we recover, not what can we restore. What can we build now here, with these people and this land and this moment in history? That question is the deepest thing he left behind. More lasting than the specific laws, more lasting than the specific borders. The insistence that the answer to loss is not despair, is not nostalgia, is not bitterness or conquest or revenge. The answer is work, building, looking forward, Peace at home. Peace in the world. He gave a nation freedom. He gave the world a lesson without end. Tonight, wherever you are, whatever weight you carried into this hour, I hope this story has set some of it down for you. I hope it has reminded you of something you already know but sometimes forget. That human beings, when they are at their best, are capable of extraordinary things. That what seems impossible has a way of becoming, in the right hands and with enough determination, simply what happened. Sleep now. You carry your own possibilities with you, even as you sleep. Good night.